Good evening, everyone. Good evening, good evening. Welcome to the Menopause Bonus Community. This evening, we are going to be having a guest speaker and Ezra, the voice of reason. We're going to be talking about mindset and motivation. So, if you are about, please feel free to join in the conversation. Let everyone know we're here. As always, we are only here for an hour. And we're going to just start talking about mindset and motivation. So we're waiting for Ezra, but good evening, everyone. Welcome. Hey, C. Taylor, Miss P, how are you? Welcome. How is everyone's day going? How has it been for you? Welcome, Irene, Diane, welcome. Welcome to the Menopause Bonus Community. We're going to be having a guest speaker this evening. Ezra, the voice of reason. We're due to, but do come in and say hi. If you're new to the community, let me know. Welcome everyone. Hey, C. Taylor. How are you? Good to see you. Right, we are expecting Ezra. Hey Vic, how are you? Thank you for liking the live. We're going to be talking about mindset and motivation this evening. I'm hoping Ezra's going to turn up, but hey, if Ezra doesn't turn up, Ezra is here. In fact, Ezra is here. Let me invite Ezra up. Because you know what, Ezra, I just thought my voice is going as well. I've been talking. What I just realised as well, I didn't even connect with you to just double check. And I always double check. I've had such a busy week. You're okay. That's good to hear. Just okay? I'm good, thank you. I'm good. Had a very busy day today, but it's all good. It's all good. Ezra, how are you?
I'm good, thank you. How you doing?
I'm good. How we got you in a little box like that now? Are we not co-hosting? Do I need to do something completely different?
Yeah, I guess so.
I
Last
thought,
time you did it, automatically had me come up with why is my camera not coming on? Last time you did it, had me automatically come up. So I'm not
yeah,
sure why it's doing it like that this time.
I thought you just come up as a co-host.
It should do. I think you got to change your settings.
Oh, yes, of course. Here we go. How are you?
I'm good, thank you. How you doing?
I'm good. Welcome back to the community.
Thank you,
There's a
thank you.
lot of things going on. The community's grown. It's growing organically. Thank you for the heart me. It's growing organically. But we thought we'd just have you back because everyone was buzzing after you after your first visit to the community. Of course, we've got to have you back today.
Yeah. I'm glad to be here. Glad to be
Oh,
back.
that's fantastic. So this I've been posting a few things around self-love and self-care, and you know the importance of it. You just
Mm.
don't realize the importance of it, do you?
Yeah, it's so important. I mean, you know, I think that I always say to people, I think I said it on the last time I was here,
Mm,
that we brush our teeth every day, maybe even many people twice a day.
yeah.
And it could be you've come back late night from a party, wedding, funeral, rave, whatever it will be, and you'll still brush your teeth. I've got to brush my teeth before I go sleep. And
Yeah.
all I say to people is do the internal version of that.
Mm,
Do the internal version of that.
yeah,
And
absolutely.
and it's so important. Like daily. And it doesn't have to be hours. But it's just the small things. Check in on yourself.
Yeah,
Give
absolutely.
yourself an affirmation. Be kind to yourself. You know.
Yeah. And that really helps, doesn't it? It does a lot. You don't realize. And I feel that once you start doing it as a routine,
Mm,
you start seeing the benefits of it.
absolutely.
You start seeing the benefits of it. And I feel that, you know, sometimes you don't get me wrong, sometimes you may wake up and you don't feel motivated,
Mm,
you know, to do certain things, or you think, oh, I'll do it later. But you the one of the main things is like you're putting yourself first, love yourself,
yeah,
the self-care,
yeah,
you know.
yeah.
Yeah, it's just so important. I just think it's really important. And not whether you're navigating through this journey or not, if this
Mm,
is a generic thing that you can take on in terms of the being motivated to do things, right?
absolutely, absolutely. I think, if you're thinking about like self care,
Mm,
right, is let's look at it's two different words, yeah, self
yeah,
and care. So
yeah,
it's about when you think about yourself, or when I think about myself, what do you think?
what you
What do
think
you
about yourself.
say? And what do you do
Yeah,
for yourself?
yeah,
So we
yeah,
do stuff for the children, we do stuff for our boss,
yeah,
we do stuff for our partner, but what do you do for yourself?
absolutely. It's true.
And how do you give care to
Mm,
you?
yeah,
And I always say to people, and people laugh when I say this, I say, look, just give 10% of the care you give to your phone.
yeah,
Just
true.
give 10% of that care. Because I guarantee you, for you and me included, when your phone is about to die in that battery, man, you would run to you'd ask a stranger, you do you would move so quickly to ensure the battery doesn't die.
That is
But what
true.
about ourselves?
Yeah, that's very true. I think sometimes life is life in, right?
Yeah.
We tend to take. I just came off of a chat just before I came on to this live. I had someone invite me into their, you
Mm,
know, their chat,
mm,
and we were talking about how life takes over, and a lot of the time, whether we're working, managing
mm.
a household, raising a family, we always put those things first
Yeah.
before we then look after ourselves.
Yeah.
But the reality is, if we are not looking after ourselves, then how the heck can we appropriately look after everyone else?
Mm, mm.
Because it's like that saying, you're pouring from an empty cup, really, aren't you?
Yes. Yes. Absolutely.
I
And you
love that
can't.
analogy.
We're not magicians.
Yeah,
You can't
exactly.
pour something out of nothing.
Exactly. So you have to you have to ensure that you are topped up. You're almost overflowing to
Yes.
give.
Well, that is the key. That is the key. You
Absolutely.
should be pouring out of the surplus.
Absolutely. The overflow. Yeah, overflow.
And when you was talking about like just a minute ago, I had a vision, and it
Yeah.
was imagine someone is cooking like it's Sunday, innit? They're rice and peas, right?
Yeah.
And they're cooking their rice and peas, and they've got it on the stove, and they go, right, let me do all this other stuff. All right, and they're doing all this other stuff. What happens to the rice and peas? It
Exactly.
burns, isn't it? It's the
Eh,
equivalent of burnout.
yeah.
And what happens is we are metaphorically leaving the cooking, the rice and peas on the stove, and we're doing all this other stuff.
Mm,
And it's burning. We're burning. We're tired. We're phlegmatic. We're forgetting things. We're tripping over. We're arguing. We're short. We're missing the things that we don't normally miss. And it's because we're getting burnt out because we're not looking after number one.
yeah. Absolutely. Very important to look after number one. I found that I'm more, when I give to people, it's of quality now, better quality than before, because I look out for myself first.
Yes.
And that looking out for myself is sometimes a no to people. No, I can't do it. No, I don't want to do it,
Absolutely.
because I can say no.
Absolutely. And we
Because
should say no.
yeah, a lot of the time we say yes because we feel that we have to. We feel obligated to say yes, but actually we're saying yes and we know what we can't even do it. We're stretching ourselves.
See, this goes back to the original thing, self-care, self-love. Because
Absolutely.
when you say no, oh,
Yeah.
sorry, when you say yes to
Mhm.
someone or to something,
Mm.
you're automatically saying no to the thing that you want and need.
There you go. Say that again, please. Say that again.
Every time you say yes to something that you don't actually want, by
Mhm.
default, you are automatically saying no to the thing that you actually want and need. If I
Ah,
say yes to my friend going out to the pub when I don't really want to, I say no to the chance of finishing my coursework. I say no to the chance of spending time with my family. I say no to the chance of resting. And this is the mistake that people make. You're constantly compromising on your values, on your needs, on your goals, on your dreams to support, enable, and be in connection with things that don't actually serve you.
oh gosh, you know what? I'm telling you, do you know what? I just saw a comment from Queen Sheba. I was raised to be a servant to others, so it's been hard to say no. You know what? We learn things, don't we? We are raised in a certain way, but you see what? We can unlearn and relearn.
Yeah.
We can absolutely unlearn and relearn. And I hear you, Queen Sheba, and I understand you because I was raised exactly the same way. But you know, the first time in my life that I said no, it was really challenging. But you know what? It felt good. And now I can say no for days. I said no for days before the person just opens their mouth. No, Jackie cannot. No, Jackie, no. You see, learn.
Yeah.
It's so important. Absolutely so important. I'm telling you, this self love journey, it's a journey that you have to be ready for because you can't do it half heartedly. You cannot do this self love journey half heartedly, but you know, you have to feel motivated to do it. And where does motivation come from, Ezra? Where does it come from?
Okay. All right. So before I even go there, I think that um, it's important to recognize motivation is not enough.
Mm,
You need discipline.
very true. Very
Mhm.
true.
And let me make the distinction between the two.
Yeah.
So let's give an example because we're coming up to the new year soon, right?
Yeah.
Just over a month and a bit, okay? And what do people tend to do when it comes to the new year?
Resolutions.
Okay, right? And so when it comes to the new year and they're making those resolutions, they're very motivated in that moment.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go to the gym, I'm gonna do this. They're motivated to do that thing. And
Mm,
the research shows, I think it's something like 55 or 65% of people drop those goals within a month
yeah.
because they were motivated
Yeah.
but not disciplined. See, motivation is when you are able to do something when you feel like doing it.
Hmm.
Discipline is when you choose to do what's right in your long term benefit, regardless of how you
Yeah.
feel,
Yeah.
right? And this is the difference. And that's why I developed the program, the discipline principle program, which
Mm,
looks at this whole thing. I cover this whole area because
yeah.
I realize that so many people, when I'm coaching them or when I'm doing training and stuff, and they're motivated and they stop, they start and they stop, they start and they stop. And it's recognizing that it's discipline. That's the
Absolutely.
difference. That's the divider.
Yeah.
And so when you're disciplined, you don't feel like doing it, but you do it anyway.
Yeah. Very true. Very true. You don't feel like getting up and going to the gym, but you get up anyway.
Absolutely.
And it's interesting because you see, when you don't feel like doing it, but you get up and do it anyway, that's just saying you're disciplined. But you see, when you've done it, you feel great after it.
Absolutely. Do
Yeah.
you know the reason for that?
Go and tell us. Tell us.
No. So we know dopamine, right? Dopamine is a
Yeah.
chemical in the brain that does many things. People only equate it to regulating pleasure.
Yeah.
but I'll just stay on that bit for now. And what happens is how dopamine works is that it's chiefly responsible for forward motion,
Yeah.
for craving, and for drive and desire, right?
Mm,
And what it does is, in order to make those things happen, it rewards you when you do something, which reinforces the behavior.
that makes sense.
Okay.
Yeah.
So when you have, so there is healthy dopamine releases
Mm-hmm.
and there is unhealthy dopamine releases.
Yeah.
Okay. Unhealthy ones would be things like social media scrolling,
Yeah.
playing on video games, these things that give you high, even drugs, our working substance use, drugs give you a high dopamine release.
Yeah.
Healthy dopamine releases come from things like um, putting in hard work. If you're studying and you finish that thing, you get to the end goal, completing a course,
Yeah.
yeah, or even going to the gym when you don't feel like doing it, because in order to do that, you pushed yourself, you
Yeah.
thrived, you excelled. And then what happens is the dopamine in the brain is going to reward you to reinforce that behavior.
Yeah.
And so that's why when you actually do that thing and at the end of it, you get that dopamine release because you actually push through to another level.
Yeah. It makes sense. It makes sense. I just feel that, yeah, you're right. The discipline is so important.
Mm.
You have to be disciplined. The motivation can be there, but if you're not disciplined, it doesn't make any sense. One goes with the other, right?
Yeah, like motivation, I would say motivation is like waves, right?
Mm,
It goes up and down. And it's not a bad thing. It's motivation is good, but discipline is the upgrade.
yeah, definitely.
Because discipline is that thing. Like I remember Mike Tyson said it. You know, discipline is when you do what you don't like doing, like you love it.
Mm, yeah, that is very true. Very
And
true.
all the people who have discipline, and everyone has it at different levels, but when you have discipline in an area, it's a game changer because that's what's going to make you exceed way above the person who has motivation. Because you could be parallel like this, and then the person who's motivated drops, but you stay like that.
Yeah,
And if they're doing that, I don't know, 3 days out of the week, think in a year the difference.
yeah, that is very true. Very true. Um, Nikki G saying it's never too late to learn self-care. That is true.
Absolutely.
We can turn around and say, right, I'm gonna start self-care to now.
Absolutely.
Right now in this moment, I'm gonna start self-care.
Yeah. And it's small things. Like a lot of the time, when people think about it, they're thinking, I've got to change all this stuff. It's not. The most important thing is right here. If you
Mm,
start to change the way you think, because your thought creates emotions, and those emotions end up being in actions, which then reinforce the cycle. So
mm,
if you think, I don't know, with the 60 to 70,000 thoughts we have each day, and
yeah,
you keep thinking, I can't do it, I'm not able, I'm not strong enough, I'm not good enough, you're constantly sending a message to your brain. And so your brain is basically being programmed based on what you think. So you see the world through lack.
yeah,
Does it make sense? So even when opportunities come, you don't see it because you're not on the frequency to see it.
yeah. That's like the saying though. Oh, some bad things always happen to me. It's always happening to me. Everything bad happens to me. You're just putting that out there. So actually, you
Absolutely.
start feeling that bad things are always going to happen to you, right? Because you're speaking it into existence almost.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. And what you are thinking about and speaking about, you bring about.
Absolutely. So that goes on to the mindset, right?
Yes.
Does your mindset have an impact on how motivated you are? Does your mindset have an impact on your discipline, how disciplined you are?
Affects everything. It affects everything. Think about it, right? If you
Mm,
go into something with a
yeah,
mindset of, just say you're doing something new,
yeah,
right? Just say we've okay, for example, I started going and doing TikTok lives from It was this year. I think it was March,
Oh,
maybe.
you really? That's the same time I did. Mine
Yeah,
started doing this.
yeah. I think it was March, April time, right? And when I
Yeah.
first went on, I was just doing a test run with SJ,
Yeah.
and I said, right, let's just do a test run to see how it goes. Like, I wasn't planning for people to come into the live, right? I didn't even have anything planned or anything. So I went live, and I went live as a test, and then like so 5, 6, 7, and I was like, no, 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 and I was gonna cancel. I was gonna cancel the live. I said, no, don't cancel. Like,
Yeah.
just do it, right? Now, at that moment there, when I said just do it, that I chose to operate out of a growth mindset rather than a fixed mindset.
Yes.
If I was operating out of a fixed mindset, I would have said, no, stop, because you haven't got nothing planned. You're not prepared for this. What will people say? What will people think? But I said, you know what, people, come on, let's just roll with it. And it was okay. It was fine. And that's the difference. You see, your mindset
Yeah.
changes how you show up, whether you speak, whether you stay silent, whether you take action, whether you withdraw.
Mm,
And that's what is key, because you miss 100% of the shots that you don't take.
yeah. Yeah. It makes sense. It makes absolutely makes sense. And I suppose I don't know, how do you then get yourself into this mindset way of thinking? Because your mind is very powerful, right?
It's very powerful.
And
It
I
is.
feel sometimes we don't really sit and recognize how powerful our mind is, because our mind sometimes can talk us out of things. And we decide that yes, we're going to go for it, but actually our mind saying no, you're not going for it, you don't deserve it, you're not good enough, you're this is what your mind is telling us, so we just back away.
Yeah. So, okay. This, you've got into a meaty area here. So let me take time to explain this. So we have three parts to our brain, right? The oldest part of the brain is the brain stem.
Mm,
And the brain stem is geared for survival. So the human brain is not geared for success.
yeah.
It's geared to keep us safe.
Yeah.
Okay. And so what happens is, whenever a situation comes up or an event happens,
Mm,
the emotional response we have
yeah.
gets encoded into our subconscious mind. Our subconscious mind holds every event of our life. I like to call it the Amazon warehouse of our mind.
Okay.
Right? It holds every event.
Yeah.
Now, whenever there is a strong emotion, it becomes encoded into our subconscious mind.
Mhm.
And depending on how many times we have a particular emotion, the subconscious mind goes, okay,
Mhm.
this is what's going on here. This is important, or this is what's scary for you.
Yeah.
Now, because it's desired to keep us safe, whenever there's a situation comes up that makes you anxious, worried, or fearful,
Yeah.
it will do all in its power to avoid you coming into contact with that thing again.
Makes sense.
Now, sometimes that could be to our own downfall.
Mm,
Because if you are fearful of coming out of your comfort zone, whenever there's a new thing that you have to do, even though it's a good thing, the brain will magnify, amplify, and bring the worst type of imaginational thoughts into your mind to
mm,
stop you from doing that.
mhm.
Does it make sense? So
Yeah.
sometimes we are messing up ourselves because we fought away so many times. We've had an emotional reaction so many times. And so the brain is going, okay, I'm going to keep you safe by making that thing look so terrible, you stay away from it.
Yeah. Yeah, that makes sense. I just saw a question, and I can't remember who it was from, about does estrogen, dec- um, low levels of estrogen or estrogen levels declining, does it have an impact on motivation? So I did my
Yes, because
research.
what happens with when your estrogen levels decrease,
Mhm.
it impacts on how, because it estrogen does what testosterone does for men. So it helps to regulate other hormones and emotions.
Yeah.
And so what you can find sometimes is the dopamine levels can be decreased as a result of that. And
Absolutely.
dopamine is what helps to regulate pleasure and give us emotions and motivation.
Yeah.
So sometimes that dip has a big impact
Yeah.
on the ability for you to start things and to have the motivation to do things. So yeah,
Definitely.
it can.
Yeah. So because the estrogen, like you said, enhances dopamine activity, doesn't it?
Yeah, yeah,
Yes.
it
If
helps
that's
to.
declining, then you're not going to feel like doing it anymore.
Yeah,
This
or
is
it's harder. It's
Yeah,
harder to
it's
do.
harder.
Yeah,
Yeah, you're right. Yeah, not that you're not going to feel it. That's It's going to be harder. This is why I guess sometimes you hear a lot of the time when people say, oh, I can't. I don't want people around me. I can't do the
mm,
same routine that I was doing before. Yeah,
yeah,
it's interesting. I just, you know what, the brain. We don't. I think sometimes we just don't realize the power we have in this.
yeah,
The
yeah,
power we have in it.
yeah.
We don't really use the brain to the full capacity, do we?
No, so I mean, so they say we only use 10% of the brain, right? But when they say that, it's not like we only use this 10% and we don't use any other part of the brain.
Mm.
What they mean is at any one point. So we use different parts of the brain, but we're only using it to the capacity of 10% at any time. Now,
Yeah.
part of the reason for that is because the brain weighs 2% of our body weight, but takes up 20% of the energy.
Mm, mm,
Does that make sense? So
yeah.
what happens a lot of the time is that because the brain is like a powerhouse, it has to find shortcuts, otherwise it would short circuit. That's what habits are.
Yeah.
Habits are shortcuts so that the brain doesn't have to think about it. Because if you think about it, and I think I spoke about this the last time, is that we through our five senses take in, I think it's about 11,000 bits of data from our five senses
Mm,
every second,
that's a lot.
and about 45 bits of data we consciously pick up
Mm,
every second. If the
mm,
brain had to be thinking about all of those things at all times, as well as should I be breathing now, what's the rate I should be breathing, all of that stuff, it would just go, it would just explode.
mm,
So there's so much stuff that the brain is doing on a subconscious level that we're not even thinking about.
yeah.
Otherwise, we wouldn't even have to go. Just think, if when you get up, right, all the different muscles that are working, how they're all working together. If you had to think about doing that,
That'll take a long time. That'll take a long time.
just to do that, would take you
Yeah.
about 5 minutes. You
Yeah.
know what I
That'll
mean?
take a long time. Absolutely long time. It's interesting because I'm just reading some of these comments, and Debbie has said, not everyone can help their self around the health problems. So I'm talking about self care. We was talking about self care. Not everyone can, I suppose, step up on their self care around health problems. And I suppose if you if you do have health problems, health concerns, you may not feel motivated to step up on your self care.
Yeah, and I think with this as well, there's also levels, isn't it? So when I'm talking about self-care, I'm not saying that if someone's got an ailment, an illness, something that's affecting them, I'm not saying go to the gym 5 times a week. I'm not,
Absolutely not.
you know, I don't think you should do that even if you don't have any. I go 3 times a week, right?
Yeah.
But self-care is as I said, it starts here. It's an inside job. And so it's about the self-care is about how are you being on yourself when you aren't able to do the things you want to do?
Yeah.
How are you treating yourself when you ain't at the place where you think you should be?
Yeah.
It's all of those kind of things. It's not just the physical aspect of this. How do
Yeah.
you talk to yourself when you make a mistake?
Yeah. Being kind to yourself, right? Yeah.
Absolutely.
So it is, it isn't. And I think when we mention self care, sometimes people tend to think that it has to be expensive, it has to be an activity where it's outside of the household. Self care can be right inside your house.
Absolutely.
It can start at home. It doesn't have to be expensive. It doesn't have to be, just saying no. When you
Mm,
say no, it's free.
yeah.
You
Yeah.
understand? When you say no to someone, it is free. You're not putting yourself out. You can say no. Just having some time by yourself, just having a moment to yourself, particularly if you're running a busy household, just having that 10 minutes
Absolutely.
where you can have a cup of tea or where you can just sit down and take a deep breath.
Yeah.
That
Yeah.
is self care.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So I could see in the chat, well, there's two things.
So,
Nikki G says, what's your thought on the phrase mind over matter?
mm. What is your thought on the phrase mind over matter, Ezra?
So I think that to some degree,
Yeah,
I think that's true. I
yeah.
think that, as Henry Ford once said, whether you think you can or you can't, you're right.
Mm,
And I think that okay, all behavior is belief driven.
yeah. I agree with you.
Yeah, all behavior is belief driven. Like no one can deny that fact. Like
Yeah,
the things that you're confident in, because you have a belief that you can do it, you do it without thinking about it.
yeah.
Like I could say to anyone who's in this chat right now, I said, if there was a competition for £1 million,
Mm,
right, and all you had to do was for you to win it, you was going to go up against the brainiest of the brainiest people, and all you had to do was talk about things about who you are, your
mm.
history, your background, what you've done, how you've lived your life. Who would go into that competition worried?
Wouldn't worry at all. You know yourself, right?
Because you know it doesn't matter if it's the wealthiest, richest person, because you know yourself. So you will do it boldly, and you go, I don't care who's watching, let's do this,
Yeah,
because you have a belief you can do it,
yeah.
right? And so when you don't do something, when you don't speak up, when you don't, keep those boundaries, when you don't do what you need to do, it's
Mm,
because there's a belief
mm,
that either you can't do it, you're not able, you're not strong enough, you don't deserve it. And so all behavior is belief driven.
mm.
So to have mind over matter, you have to believe that you are either enough, strong enough, and you deserve it.
Yeah, yeah.
This is why self-care is so important. Because if you always put yourself last, what are you saying? What is that behavior? What belief is driving that?
What message are you giving to yourself? And what message are you giving to others? Because others will see how you're treating yourself.
Absolutely.
It's okay to put myself last because I'm not deserving of it, but then everyone will feel, well, you always put yourself last, so I'm going to do that as well.
And it's okay to put yourself last from time to time,
Mm,
or in certain seasons, So, when you have a newborn baby, which I've had happen twice, like, you ain't going to get much sleep. The baby's the priority. So you understand that.
yeah.
It's like, so there's certain seasons in our life, or if you've got a busy project you're working on, like I'm currently renovating my house. The
Mm,
last 5 weekends I've been working, I've been doing 7-day weeks because, but I know this is not going to be forever. We're almost finished. And
yeah.
then I'll go back to my normal thing and have my weekends back. But when you're just constantly doing this to everyone for everything, and
Yeah.
you're just pouring out, pouring out, pouring out, yeah, it can't last.
Yeah, that's true. Because, like you said, you're pouring from an empty cup. I love that saying. I love that saying. You cannot pour from an empty cup.
Mm.
I like my cup to be overflowing
Yeah.
because that overspill, that surplus of, you know, I can give quality.
Yes.
I know if I didn't have my overflowing cup, I couldn't do what I'm doing in the community. That is
Absolutely.
my overflow that helps me to do what I do in the community.
And it stops resentment kicking in.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Oh dear. What there was there another
There was Queen Sheba said to give some examples of self-care.
okay. I think
So I think,
oh,
yeah, go on.
no you go.
I was gonna say, I think, it's so let me, okay, so I'll give you an example how my day starts. So I'll get up, If it's Monday, Wednesday, or Friday, I go gym first thing in the morning.
Yeah.
Okay, I'll come back, you know, then I'll do my affirmations. I'll do my gratitude list. So I have a worksheet that I designed. So it's like three things I'm grateful for, three emotions that come from those feelings of gratitude,
Mm.
and why those three things are important to me.
Yeah.
So already I start the day in the frequency and the energy of, first of all, I have the buzz from going to the gym. Then I come back and I top it up, because we're talking about overflow. I top it up by doing my gratitude and my affirmation. So I'm then thankful and then declaring. So when I start the day, I'm ready. Those are
Mm.
three simple but effective ways of showing self-care. And
Yeah.
that's happened within the first 2 hours. Over the first 2 hours of when I get up, I've done those three things. Now, if anyone else is doing it, you don't like I go gym for an hour and 10 minutes. You don't even have to do that. Even if you just did 10 squats, 5 press-ups, whatever it is, just whatever small thing you can do, for exercise. And then you do whatever you want to do. It could be a journal, it could be a gratitude list, it could just be a prayer, whatever it is you do.
Yeah.
But you start your day that way.
Yeah.
As I go through the day, I'm intentional with my thoughts. I always tell people this: listen, because the mind is like a garden,
Mm.
if you do not tend to a garden that you have in real life, there's one thing that's destined to grow, and that's weeds.
Mm.
Weeds are
Absolutely.
symbolic of negative thoughts.
Yeah.
If you just allow thoughts to come into your mind, weeds will grow in abundance. So I'm intentional with the things I think about.
Yeah.
If you put things into your head rather than allow them just to come into your head, you're going to get a better result.
Mm. Yeah. Um, I just came across a comment that Lilith put in here. I'm not sure if Lilith is still in the live with us. She just mentioned it's so hard to just get out of bed some mornings.
Mm,
So, in terms of if someone is feeling that, because everyone's achievements in the morning, someone who is finding it challenging to get out of bed in the morning,
yeah,
just
yeah,
getting up is an achievement to them. And
absolutely.
they got to recognize that that's an
Absolutely.
achievement in itself to get out of the bed, particularly
Yeah,
if this is something that is occurring on a regular basis.
yeah.
So, what something like that? How would you kind of like encourage someone who is finding it challenging to get out of bed in the morning?
So I think there's a few things. So I think the first thing is that if that is the case, because it might be chemical,
Yeah.
and then that will be something where, seeing a GP to look at that. Is it that the person's going through depression? Is there, the serotonin levels are really low? There could be various different reasons
Yeah.
for that. So it's just important to get it checked out. Self-care.
Yeah.
I think also, so Mel Robbins, you know about Mel Robbins? She's a motivational speaker, author, she's got a podcast and everything. She was actually someone who had this same issue. She had severe depression when she had her children. She couldn't even look after the children. She
Mm.
couldn't get out of bed. And what helped her is a tool that she actually developed, which is the 5 second rule. So what she did was she counted back from five. So five, four, three, two, one,
Mhm.
and then took action. And the research and the science behind this is that when you count backwards, what it does is it disrupts your normal way of thinking. So
Mm.
if you're normally like, oh my God, this is so hard, this is so difficult, it disrupts it because you're
Yeah.
counting backwards. And then when you get to one, take action.
Mhm.
And what it does is it gives you an opportunity to do something different.
Yeah.
Now, I use this tool all the time. I use it when I'm tired in the gym to let me do an extra rep. I use it in various different things, even when I'm tired and I don't want to get out of bed. Because believe it or not, even though I'm disciplined, there's days when I feel like, oh, I just can't do it today.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I use that tool to help me. So that might be something that could help.
Mm.
But also, I would say it's about seeking help and support as well if
Yeah,
needed.
definitely. And you know what? Having days sometimes that you just don't feel. Sometimes I get up and I think, oh gosh, I don't feel like doing it today. And then I just again for a moment I don't do the counting back, but for a moment I pause and I say, Jackie, come on, you can do this. You can absolutely do this. Come on. And I kind of like just talk myself and push myself in it because what are we doing? What are we doing today? Come on, let's do it. You know, I kind of like I am my biggest cheerleader.
We should be.
I am my biggest cheerleader. And because no one ain't going to cheer me on the sidelines like I should be cheering, how I really want to be cheered, that's why I'm
Yeah.
my biggest cheerleader.
Yeah.
So I just kind of pop myself up like that and just, Jackie, come on. Just, I talk to myself a lot. Come on, Jackie, you can do this. You can do this. You know you can do it. You know, when I need to push myself that bit more, that's what I find that has been helpful to me.
And the thing is, Jackie, we are always talking to ourselves.
Mm,
We're just not consciously aware of it.
yeah, yeah,
And that's the thing that actually impacts on us much more than we realize.
yeah.
Because we're always thinking things, and
Mhm.
our internal chatter, the brain is taking notice of.
Absolutely.
And
Absolutely.
this is why I say intention is so important. Being intentional with what you're thinking, what you're saying. And so
Yeah.
I have certain mantras that I just keep saying to myself throughout the day. Not every second, but periodically I keep saying it because I want my subconscious mind to pick up that and then start to be saying that when I'm not even thinking about it. Because
Yeah.
whatever you say and think the most, your brain is going to start using that algorithm.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. I've got is it Rosina saying it's so easy to let yourself go as well. So sometimes you know what? I'm telling you, there are days when I get up in the morning, particularly sometimes on the weekend if I'm not working. And I say, do you know what? I feel like a duvet day today.
Mm,
I'll get up, I'll brush my teeth, and I'll have a shower and I'll just have a duvet day. And I just that's what I feel like because what you're talking about being intentional, right?
mm,
I am intentional about listening to what my body is telling me.
absolutely.
You see, when my body's telling me, Jackie, where you going? Sit your backside down and keep still. I'm sitting my backside down and keeping still
Yeah.
because my body has just had enough for the week.
And that is also self care.
Absolutely. Absolutely. There's so many times it's like doing the housework. Historically, when I clean the house, top to bottom, I'll say, right, it's Saturday, I'm going to clean the house. If I'm not working, I'm not training, I'm going to clean the house. And it's like 8 o'clock in the morning or even earlier. And I start up the top and I work my way downstairs or downstairs, work the way up. And within like 4 or 5 hours, I've cleaned the house. Who told me that I need to clean the house that way?
Mm,
Historically, I've done it that way. And do you know what I've done
mm,
recently? I said, Jackie, no, hold on a minute. Who has told you that that has to be done that way? Right now, this is how I'm going to start cleaning my house. Today, I might take a week now to clean my house rather than
yeah.
5 hours.
Yes.
I'm starting
Yes.
downstairs. Today, I'm going to clean all the household appliances.
Mm,
Tomorrow, I'm going to do all the sweeping and mopping and I'm going to do the skirting boards. The
yeah.
next day, I'll do that's obviously if I've got the time, but I work around it. But who
Mm,
says you have to clean your house in the 4 or 5 hours?
mm,
Who said that? So I'm
mm,
starting to be intentional with making a blueprint, a new blueprint for me and how I want to work.
absolutely.
That's
And
what.
that's the key. That's the key for us to use in all areas of our life.
Mm,
Because what you basically did there is you upgraded your belief system.
yeah. Who said? It's like, when I left home, who said I got to eat rice and peas and chicken on a Sunday?
Yep.
if I want a piece of fish, I'll eat the fish instead. Who
Yep.
said I must do that way?
Mm,
Because what I used to be doing, how I was raised, and actually, it's really not working for me anymore.
mm,
So I'm now intentionally mapping out a different way, a different routine that suits my life that I've grown
Go ahead.
into
Go ahead.
because it's changed,
Yeah.
and I have to be intentional about that.
Yes.
You know.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think sometimes we don't tend to think about these things because we're just constantly. Someone mentioned earlier on, that's how I was raised. I was raised to serve people. Well, actually,
Mm.
we need to stop and think: is this serving people still of benefit to us?
Yeah.
And if it's
Yeah.
not of benefit, what do I need to do?
That's
It's that questioning, isn't it? Sometimes I think sometimes for me it can be challenging to question yourself and be honest and open with yourself.
yes. That's the shadow work.
Yeah,
That's the
it's
shadow work.
it can be really challenging to be honest and say, "Oh gosh, you know." I had someone say to me a couple of days ago that, "Oh, I've got a friend and they're doing this and they're doing," and I listened to this friend and actually, you're the one causing that. You're allowing
Mm.
that because people will only take liberties with you if you allow them to,
Yeah.
right? They
Yeah.
will take advantage of you if you allow them to.
Yeah. Yeah.
So you being intentional and saying, "Do you know what? This is not going to happen in my life anymore. And this
Mm.
is not working for me anymore. This is what I
Mm.
need. And this is the changes I need to make in order to
Yeah.
allow that to
Yeah.
happen." But who
Yeah.
said it has to be that way? It's like society. What? In society, we go to school, we get educated, we may go off to university, we want to get a job. Then, after getting a job, we want to probably get married, have children. Who said we have to do it that way?
Mm.
That's society saying that that's the way it
Mm.
goes. But actually, is it a fit for you? Well, do you know what? I'm going to be the one to break all the damn norms because the norms ain't working for me.
Yeah.
I don't
Yeah.
want to clean my house in 4 to 5 hours. I want to take a week to clean my house.
Yeah.
And if that works for me, that's how it's going to happen. Yeah. And I just feel that that is big part of self-care, like you said.
Yeah. I think as well it's about recognizing
Mm,
where you're at, where you want to be, and what it takes to get there.
yeah.
And something that I often say to people is that you cannot be upset for the work that you haven't put in, which
Mm,
results in which ends up being the results that you don't get. So if you want to get a result and you haven't put the work in, you can't be upset for the
mm,
work that you didn't get because you didn't put the work in. And so what you're talking about and how I also live is it takes courage.
mm,
It's not easy to do.
yeah.
It's not easy to just be saying no to people because it could, in some cases, affect the relationship.
Yeah.
But what I always say is that if you have to mask and pretend to be someone you're not to fit in, that ain't a relationship in the first place.
Absolutely.
And so I always say to people, what's your values?
Mm-hmm.
And are you anchored to those values? Because if you have values and you're anchored to them, that becomes the plumb line in which you make your decisions by, regardless if it's an easy or difficult decision. Because we are either anchored to our values or pulled by everyone else's opinions. It's one of the two. You can't be you can't have two masters in this area. So when you're making a decision, when you say no, it's because you're tied to your values. When you say yes, when you mean no, it's because you're tied to people please. That's it. That's that's how you sum it up. And when people are prepared to do that work and look at it and go, actually, I've been giving away my peace. I've been giving away my strength. I've been giving away my energy to things that don't serve me. Make the change.
Yeah. You know what? You're so right because I had a conversation probably about 3, 4 weeks ago with someone, and their words to me was, "Jackie, our relationship ain't the same anymore." And you know what I said to them? "You're right. Our relationship is not the same anymore. But you know why? Because I chose me. That's what I chose to do. I chose me. This is why this relationship ain't happening anymore. It no longer fits my narrative because I switched it up. Because I chose my peace.
Yeah. And you
And
know the interesting thing there?
yeah,
Sorry to cut you. You know the interesting thing there?
yeah.
When people say you've changed, I heard someone once say this, so this is not original from me, but a quote says that when people say you've changed, it's only because they do not have the ability to say you've grown.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. And yes, do you know what? You're right. Because I know I've changed, but I've changed for the better and I've grown. I've done a lot of growing, a lot of developing, and I'm still going.
Of course, we all are.
But I feel that as you start to grow and develop in your life, what happens is these individuals within your life, they don't know they no longer becomes what's the word? They're no longer surplus to requirements. Shall I say it?
I just saw a comment that
Yeah,
Donna put in the chat.
yeah.
just I just gotta say Donna, right? So she said, I was told to get off my high horse before I break my neck, all because I chose me. And I just want to say to Donna, it's so interesting, right? Every seed that goes into the ground starts at the same place.
Mm-hmm.
But there's some trees that grow up to 500 feet tall, and
Mm,
there's some trees that are very small. And what happens is, what makes the difference between the tree that grows to 500 feet and the tree that grows small? It's the equivalent of our mindset.
mhm.
And so, what you have to recognize, Donna, is that you cannot pay mind to small minded people who are stuck in the past and want to keep you there with them. Because when they see you growing, evolving, and getting better, they use any type of manipulation, insults, and ways to stop you and stunt your growth.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I, I totally agree with this. You know, I will add to that, Donna. I have a cousin, and every time my cousin invites me to his gatherings, I don't go. And you know what he turns around and says? You never come anywhere, Jackie, because you think you're too stush. And you know what I say
Mm.
to him? I am very stush. That's why. Yeah, you're damn right, I'm stush.
Yeah, yeah,
And you're right, because I could have taken that a different way and think, oh, don't be silly, I'll come, don't be silly. No, I ain't going nowhere. Because
yeah.
your people are not my people.
Mm,
I'm not going.
mm,
And
mm.
sometimes when people say things, you're right. It is to kind of chip away at you and, devalue you. But listen, know your worth, know your value, and stand by it.
Mm.
Absolutely stand by it. Because I tell you one thing, you're not feeding me, you're not putting food in my cupboards, you're not paying
Yeah,
my mortgage, and you're not sleeping in my bed at night time.
yeah, yeah,
So I don't care what you think.
yeah, yeah.
I don't care because I'm
Yeah, you
not.
got to protect your peace, man. As Donna said, you got to protect your peace.
Absolutely. My peace, I'm telling you, is so important. And this is the thing. You don't know how much you value peace until you find it.
Yeah,
And when you find your peace, you don't realize you needed it until you found it. And
yeah,
this is why I'm telling you, I'm going to end up being a Xena warrior when it comes to my peace. I will fight you for my peace. I'm telling you, because you ain't taking my peace. You're not taking
yeah,
it.
yeah,
You're
yeah.
not taking
And
it.
when you find it, you recognize and you realize that, like I self-care, peace, all of these things, they're gems, they're diamonds, right?
Absolutely.
Now, if you had a diamond the size of what could fit in my hand, right,
Mm,
you wouldn't just carry it around. You wouldn't just show it to any one person. You wouldn't put it, you'd have it safe.
yeah,
You'd know where it is at all times.
yeah, Yeah.
You be intentional with it, and that's how we need to be with our peace and with our self-care in these things,
Mhm.
because people will trample over your peace.
Absolutely.
Some people will actually see your peace and want to destroy it because they don't like you to have that type of peace. And listen, people need, one of the things, and I've just got to say it as it is, right?
Mhm.
You cannot be gullible in this life.
Mhm.
Sometimes people go, "Oh no, but they wouldn't do this, they wouldn't say that." Like, please, seriously. Like,
Yeah.
I've worked in a prison for 12 and a half years. I've
Yeah.
seen how bad people can be. Trust me. And so what I truly go by and believe is, if someone shows you who they are, believe them.
Absolutely.
If
Absolutely.
someone makes a mistake once, we all make a mistake once. If you've told them you don't like this, you don't like what they're doing or the way they talk to you, and they keep doing it consistently, no, 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 it wasn't just an accident. That is what they're choosing to do with you because they don't value or they don't care enough.
Yeah.
Believe them.
Yeah. Yeah. I think it speaks volumes that if someone is showing you by the way of they are saying things or doing things that they undervalue you, and you still remain in that vicinity, that speaks volumes about you. Because what are you saying to that person? It's
It's
okay.
okay.
It's okay to treat me like garbage. It's okay to speak to me disrespectful because you're still there and you're still
Yeah,
accepting it. Yeah?
yeah, yeah.
That's like turning around and not disciplining a child in the fact that if a child is shouting at you, swearing at you, and you're not saying a thing, you've just in one way told that child that it's okay to treat me like that.
Mm,
It's acceptable behavior
mm,
by just not saying anything.
mm.
And that's the
Yeah,
same way with people. If people are treating you a certain way, if they're taking liberties with you and, taking full advantage of you, and you are not saying anything and you keep on allowing it to happen, that's your doing because you're
yeah,
allowing it to.
yeah. If people can't appreciate your presence, let them miss your absence.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Look, I'm telling you, I am telling you, right? Because not everyone is for you. Not everyone deserves to be in your space. Not everyone deserves to, you know, be privy to your blueprint. So listen, this is why every year I will have what I call a contact cleanse.
Whew.
I
Talk
go through
about it.
my phone and have a contact cleanse. I did it before I have phones, actually. I went through my diary, the old diaries we used to have. I still have them anyway. But I went through my diary, I went through my phone every year and I cleansed it because there were certain people that I would have outgrown or they no longer fit in my purpose. They got to go.
Yeah.
So out of the diary, out of my life.
Mm. You know, I just want to, Rosina put in the chat, um, gee, that's powerful. She said, "That's what I finally done with my son and blocked him." And you know what? Like, I respect you for that, because what people don't I've realized through life
Mm,
and through different experiences that I've been through, and it changed the ways that I look at certain things. And
mm,
there's something that happens when you've been through something, you can relate to things so much differently and your eyes are open.
yeah,
So many, many years ago, and I always share this story because I think it's very powerful, and anyway. So many, I think it was about 2 decades ago, maybe
mm,
3 decades ago, and we went to this wine bar. It was one of my friend's birthdays. We went to this wine bar, and it was one of those wine bars that then become a rave afterwards, like music
yeah.
playing and everything. So anyway, we were sitting down. They were drinking. I wasn't really drinking because I don't really drink.
Mhm,
I needed to go to the toilet.
mm,
So by this time, it was a rave. So I was walking through, and I was trying to get through. I'm trying to like mind people out, just not bump into people or anything. So anyway, as I'm walking through, these two women just clamp me on both sides and just start grinding me, right? And I'm
Yeah.
just trying, I just wanted to get through, right? And I'm just like, sorry, and I'm trying to push them away. I got into the toilet and I was like, oh my God, like I'm gonna have to go back through that. Now, in that moment, that
Mm.
was a rude awakening for me for many reasons. One is because I didn't want that to happen. Like I was married, I didn't want that to happen. I wasn't really interested, right?
Yeah.
But two, what it really did for me, it showed me what women go through all the time. Now, as a man, I had the strength. I could have knocked them out if I wanted to, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
But the point, what it did is it helped me to see in a different way that I'd never seen before how it feels for a woman when a
Mm.
guy is coming on to her and doing those things.
Yeah.
And so when she said that, I really felt that because I know that I've had situations with different family members where sometimes you have to cut people off,
Mm.
and no one wants to do that. But when they've done that, it's because they've realized I've tried. This person has shown me who they are. I'm believing them, and I need to fight for my peace. So I just wanted to just give her a moment and just say I truly respect that and understand how difficult that probably was. But
Yeah.
you have to do sometimes the right thing for your own health and well-being.
Absolutely, absolutely. I use an analogy, the hot air balloon analogy, because I also do life coaching, right? So I use a hot air balloon analogy, and this hot air balloon, just to cut a long story short, because it's almost 5 minutes to go. This hot air balloon, it represents your life. To allow it to lift off the ground, you turn that
Yes.
fire on, right? The fire is your determination. So the
Yes.
determination then brings the hot air balloon up into the air. For it to be maintained in the air, that fire canister gets turned off. It doesn't mean your determination's there. You can access it anytime you like. But then
Yes.
once it's in flight, you drop the sandbags to maintain that height, right? So those
Yes.
sandbags represent family, friends, associates. Sometimes in
Yes.
life, we've got to drop those sandbags,
Yeah.
right? Because to to be consistent in where you are, because the sandbags are just weighing you down.
Mm.
And unfortunately, sometimes those sandbags are family members, and you've just got
Yes.
to drop them because they're not of purpose anymore. And I
Mm.
know it just sounds blunt and off. It's like people will probably be saying, but Jackie, that's family. But listen, what quality you bring into my life? And actually, no, this, you can't, no.
Yeah.
And you're right, sometimes it has to happen that way. But as
Yeah.
well, you have to be confident to be able to do that as well.
Absolutely.
You know, it takes time to do that.
Yeah.
Ezra, oh my gosh. We're gonna have to come back. You're gonna have to come back to the community again. Because I'm telling you, it always gives us gems, and it's like we just had a conversation and the time's just gone just like that. You know,
Yeah.
myself and the community, everyone in the community, thanks you for being here. Thanks you for your time. We so appreciate you.
You're welcome.
And you
You're
know,
welcome.
this evening I know we've been chatting away with Ezra, and again, I believe Ezra has given us some gems to take away and just some real deep rooted food for thought to consider, you know, about our mindset and motivation and self-care, you know, and everything around that we've been talking about. Um, but yeah, we're definitely going to have you back. We're definitely going to have you. That's if you will accept.
Of
That's if you
course,
will
yeah,
accept.
man. Definitely, man. Definitely, definitely, definitely.
Um, but you know, I just, yeah, thank you, and everyone. I can speak on everyone in the community. Thank you, and everyone saying thank you, Ezra. So I'm gonna end the live like I always end the live. The two ways I end the live. The first way, I send a virtual hug to everyone. Okay. And the second way is to let everyone know that you are not alone. If you feel alone after the live has ended, please reach out to someone who you trust, someone that will understand you, someone that will listen to you also. Okay. If not me, someone else. But everyone, stay blessed. And what is today anyway? Today is Sunday, right? Do you know what? I'm always asking this question. What is today? It's another day, isn't it? It's a day. Have a productive and blessed start to your week, everyone. and I will see you all on Tuesday. Okay. But Ezra, just the last thing, I thank you from the bottom of my heart for coming into the community today and blessing us with all those gems.
You're welcome. You're welcome.
All right. Stay
You're
blessed, and I'm
welcome.
going to invite you back to the community again.
Yes, definitely. Take care.
All right. Bye.
Bye.